Okay, next up we have a Grifball court from ImDahUnicorn, and its name is, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, Trirkiis. Let me know how to pronounce that. We'd kind of like to know, I would guess, before we start the judgment round, so we know what to call it in our live streams. Anyhow, let's have a look at what we have here. Okay, running starts are, oh, I see, over here and over here. And just going to confirm that the transition point is past there. Good. What's the script brain here? Just oh, it's not a script brain. It is just a light, or sorry, yeah, you know what I mean. Oh, okay. How could I could get through that? It was a one-way team pass blocker. But for some reason I could get out of it. Here, I'm just going to move the ceiling and try that again. It's probably nothing. Maybe I just wasn't seeing where the position was on it. Oh, that's why. The blocker is inside of where the... Yeah, I see, because the red lines are there and the blocker's on this side. That's all it was. It was just me not seeing it properly. Oh, okay. Well, let's see what we have here. One thing to note is the ceiling's quite low, and it does not need to be this low. It can easily be raised up. Let's see what we go back out here. One more time. I just want to look at outside here and see what blockers he's used. Yeah, these blockers here are 128, 128 by actually this might be high enough. Let me just do my measurement to see if it's high enough. The way we measure the height of a wall, the proper height of a wall, is I give 16 feet for the wall hop ledge. Okay, and then you have 128 is the height of the blocker on top of that. We require that the height of the ceiling be at least half the height of that. So 64. Okay. So that's... see, that's the wall hop. That's the wall hop, and that's half the height of the wall. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to combine those together, and we're going to compare that to his wall in here. Okay. See, that ledge is kind of low for a wall hop, but either way, let's put this up to the floor here. Okay, so that's normally the height of the wall hop ledge here. So his ledge is a bit low, and that's how high the ceiling has to be. Okay, it's got to be no lower than that. Okay, it can be twice as high as that if you want, but it can't be any lower than that. So this ceiling is too low, and the problem with that is you can't make, well, you can throw grenades, but you can't make a court-wide pass. Like if you jump up in the wall hop and then jump up and pass, your pass is going to drop down into the middle because it's going to bounce right about here and then it's going to drop straight down. So your ceiling should be quite a bit higher, and that's not a problem. Just group everything, move it up. I'm just doing this really quickly, but just... whatever, let me just group your ceiling, move it up. Move it up, up. Okay. And what you can do as well is you're going to need to be replacing this. Yeah, let me just have a look around at the aesthetics first, because I want to see exactly what you're doing before I start giving you ideas and changes. I want to understand what I'm looking at first and see. Okay, that locks it in. Okay. Yeah, there's quite a few problems with this court, but nothing that can't be resolved. I'm gonna move this out into the middle. You have these are obstacles. Okay, anything on your court which causes a player to stop moving is considered an obstacle. So these are obstacles. Okay, and the reason why is people backpedal in Grifball, and they'll get stuck on these there. They'll get, oh no, you have these blocked off, so these are fine here. Your ball pickup in the middle, although it's ornate, it looks fine. It provides two things, two issues with it. One is that it is an obstacle. So as I say, when people are backpedaling or backpedaling for a pass or whatever, they're gonna bump into this. This is gonna get in the way of passes. It's going to get in the way of hammers, and it also provides cover, which there's no cover in Grifball, and this provides cover. Okay, so the rule I state, and if you'd seen any of the half the videos I've made on my technical reviews, they almost all say this, that every player on the team, on your team, should be able to see every player on the other team, no matter where they are or where you are in the court. Okay, all players have to be visible to all other players at all times. Okay, so that means you can't have this. You're gonna have to figure out something else decorative for the middle. You can use lights or effects or something like that, as long as it doesn't blind the players. You'll have to find something else for the middle. And if you look around, there's people have other things that are decorative that use lights or effects or things like that do look good. It's just they aren't sticking up like that. Okay, so that would go for other areas like so. Okay, you see this is cover. This is cover. This is cover. This whole structure here is cover as well. You see, and I think generally the way you look at it is it something you would see on a basketball court? If it isn't, then you wouldn't put it on a Grifball court, because it's the same idea. It's supposed to be, it's a court game is what it is, and you wouldn't see a couch in the middle of a basketball court. I've said that 100 times before, but you wouldn't see a couch in the middle of a basketball court. It just wouldn't be there, right? And it's the same with the Grifball court. You can have as much decoration as you want, but it's got to be outside of the playable space, or it has to be part of the playable space. Okay, like I'm sure you can figure out something that's decorative that has the same kind of look to it, but make it part of the playable space. Okay, and I don't mean just put a wall here. I mean, try to figure out something else that suits your design here, but you're gonna have to make it so that you don't have objects that impede the play, the flow of the game. Okay, so anyhow, I was talking about that was why I was talking about these here, and an easy way to fix that is if you want to make it decorative like this, you can move these blocks back a bit. Let me I'm just going to grab two, and I'm just going to move them back a bit. Okay, so you're going to make this the edge that they can run on. Okay, like it does. They don't actually have to be that far back. Let me move them back forward again, because you still want them to stick out, right? They should be about there, just so that, see how they stick out there, and then just so they're hidden there. Okay, and then what you can do is make it. You know what? I would take these things that are in here, those decorative pieces, and stick them out. Just you want to make how did I describe? I've described this to other builders before. Where there's a ledge, you should be able to walk on it, which you've done here. And where you can walk, there must appear to be a ledge there. Okay, so you see what's happening here is you have a ledge that players can use, but they can't see where it is. They don't have a visual cue as to where the actual edge of it is. And like, they can learn it, but that's not the point. The point is that if there's a ledge, it should be well defined for the player, and if there's no ledge, you shouldn't have a ledge, which isn't the case in this map. But there's other maps where they put hidden, like, invisible wall hop ledges and that on it. You can't do that either. If you have a wall, it has to be shown, and if you have a wall like this, you have to define to the player where they can go and where they can't go. So you'll have to rework this decorative part here. I mean, it looks terrific, but it just won't play properly when players are constantly getting caught up in it. Okay, so that they aren't going to like that, getting caught up in these things. So you have to figure out a way to keep the same aesthetic, because it looks terrific. It's just you need to figure out a way to have an actual ledge that players can stand on, that they can see. Okay, and then once you do that, once you've done that, we're going to get rid of these invisible blockers here, because you're going to use something better for that. Okay, we're going to just delete those. For when you do, let's say you decide to put something up here and a ledge that they can see that they're walking on, but then you want to block these off. Okay, so what you'll do is you'll get a for player containment, I always use 128 by 128 blocks, and I can't fit it here. Hold on a second. Nope. What's going on? Oh, that's right. I didn't have block picked. Why can't I? Sometimes you can spawn these in the middle of a court, and then sometimes you come way outside and you still can't spawn them way outside. So there we go. So we're gonna rebuild your containment on this side, quite simply with just two invisible blockers, and you'll see that this will solve a few problems at the same time. We're going to move the invisible blockers to like so. Okay, so whatever way you redecorate this to indicate that players can run on it, you'll also want to block off the bits that you don't want them bumping into. Okay, so as I said, you're going to have to find a way to what the heck? Oh, never mind. I'm just trying to grab one of these. There we go. So whatever you figure out for the hold on a second. I just realized what I was doing. These things are odd because the oh, wait a second, sorry, my rotation should be on world. There we go. Yeah, whatever you do to figure out a path for the players, I'm just going to put this here as an example. You see that's just gives the players their eyes something to look at, as far as so they know. Wait a second. Oh right, I keep putting my magnets on. I don't mean to have them on. So whatever you do, you have to make it so that they can clearly see that there's some form of ledge there, and that they aren't bumping into that. And what this also will do is it's going to give you the height you need to raise your ceiling. See, it's going to give you the height you need to raise your ceiling, and then so you just continue that the full width of the court. Okay, the full width of the court. Okay, So another thing then, once you get those done, you have other perches as well, and that would be these right here. You see the way you had these. I know the ceiling was down here, but when you raise your ceiling up, you're going to have to move these pieces back because players can stand on these, and the ball can get caught up in here as well. So you have to make sure there's no what we call perches anywhere on the map. And that goes for here as well. This is all going to have to be contained and totally sealed off so that the ball doesn't get caught up anywhere up in here and the players can't get up on here. Okay? So a good way to do it is go look at the contest Trello board and the maps that are in the far right. And you'll find some complicated maps that are not, I don't mean they're similar in design to this, but similar in that there is a bunch of odd-shaped structures around it. And if you go in there, you'll see that none of them show through the invisible blockers. They're all the structures are all hidden behind invisible blockers. Okay, and that's just like I explained earlier. It's so that players can't stand on ledges, and so the ball can't get stuck on ledges, and basically we just call it containment. Okay, you have to contain the players, and you can't give them any unfair advantages. So really, you're although all these courts are super decorative, most of them are just, when you look at just the invisible blockers, they're just a box. But there's a reason for that. Is that on a map like this, you won't be able to play a successful game of Grifball because there's so many problems. But no problem that can't be fixed, that's for sure. I mean, it's a terrific looking map, so you'll just have to rework it so that it fits the Grifball game type a little bit better, and doesn't have the obstacles and cover and everything else. And what did I do that? I don't remember. Oh, that's probably this piece over here that I was playing with. Anyhow, so I think that covers it. Your spawns look good. Gameplay elements, they're fine. Excuse me. Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't know if you took this from the template or from another map, but either way, everything else is good. You just have to fix those 150 things that I said to fix. So it's going to take a little bit of rework, but thankfully with the way Forge is now, it does not take that long to rework a map. Oh, and I love the colors and the setting. It really looks good on this. Really looks good on this canvas. And I like what you've done with the floor here. That looks terrific. It's really good. Very well defined floor. As I say, it's a very interesting play space. Sorry, it just needs to technically fit the objectives of the contest. So get at it. Let me know when you've finished repairing it. You can just post in the contest thread at Forge Hub, and I keep an eye on that. I keep a tab open all the time, so I'll see when you post it, and when you've updated it, we'll have a second look at it in round 2. Okay, thanks for